I play in Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, all these places, and not even close. And I was running, I was like, holy it's loud, it's fun. This is the Bronx times 1,000, because it was just kept going and going and going.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Set the Pace, the official podcast of New York Roadrunners, presented by Peloton. I'm your host, Rob Simulcare, the CEO of New York Roadrunners, and Becs Gentry from Peloton is with me this week. Hello, Becs. How are you?
Hello. Good morning. I'm good, thank you. Thawing out in our little snow globe of a city over here.
Yes, it's
What a
beautiful.
weekend.
At least it was beautiful for 24 hours or so.
Yeah, it's more of an ice rink now than beautiful, yeah.
Which makes it tough to run. Tough to get those runs in when there's a lot of slop and stuff on the ground. But I know they clear a lot of the roads. Central Park gets cleared out pretty well. So I'm sure everybody's out there, maybe not on the bridle path or the reservoir yet, but at least on the roads, you can usually find some dry surface to run.
But how beautiful did Central Park look this weekend? I saw a good friend of the podcast, Mary Wittenberg. She posted some stunning pictures of the park, and many other people did as well, just getting out there, getting their miles in, whether they were walking or running. It truly was it looked like a movie. It looked like one of those fabulous New York City Christmas movie scenes.
Yeah, it was spectacular for a lot of New Yorkers, and spectacular out in Brooklyn as well on Saturday. That was before the snow fell, so we managed to time the Frosty 5K pretty well.
Lucky. Yeah.
Yes, it would have been tricky, I think, on Sunday morning with what was going on, but we ran on Saturday. We had about 3,500 runners out there to join us for the Frosty 5K. It lived up to its name as it usually does. It was frosty, but it was a good day. We had the kids out there running for Rising New York Roadrunners. We had the Striders out there, and the results, the women, it was Danielle Aspitz, 18:01 for, of course, North Brooklyn runners. They got to win their home race in Brooklyn. The non-binary winner, Adrian McAfee, 22:26. And on the men's side, Kevin Zhao at 16:03. So it was a good day out there. And I guess, Bex, probably, do you see like an uptick of people on the treadmills at Peloton when it gets to be wintry weather in the Northeast? I would think you'd get a lot of folks who show up on the treads when the weather's like that.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like converse. In some places, like in summer, we have a drop on to the tread because it's too hot for people to be outside. And then in winter, it's strange. It's very strange. But yeah, there was definitely a lot more people taking class this weekend. I think especially, as you say, on the East Coast, because we had this like Arctic blast weather or whatever it was that hit us and has been sticking around for a few days. But yeah, I think also it's convenience at this time of year, because as much as it is wonderful to get outside, and as a running coach, I do recommend that we take especially our long runs and as many of our easy runs as we can outside. I think when it's this cold and you have to bundle up so much, and inevitably we probably should be doing slightly longer warm-ups when the weather's that cold outside, that your workout duration ends up being a lot longer. And, even defrosting when you get home, you don't want to jump straight in that shower because maybe your digits are a little too cold and it's painful. So I think the ease of jumping onto a tread is really condensing the workout. And if you are in a time crunch, got to get to work, got to get the kids ready or whatever it is, the tread does give you that blessing to keep your workout very concise. So yes, long way of saying it was a lot more people. But I will say, I was driving home from teaching on Saturday, and I was driving through Brooklyn, and I kept seeing people in shorts, and I was like, what on earth are these people doing in shorts? And then they'd turn around and they'd have their New York Roadrunners bib on. I was like, oh yes, it's the Frosty 5K. And I didn't have my windows down. I wish I had, but I was cheering people along. They're like, well done. I'm like, they can't hear me. They just think I'm some crazy lady waving at them in the car. But it was a busy exit from the park, and I was very proud of everyone. So well done.
Great job for everybody showing up. We always have a lot of people finishing their 9+1 at the Frosty as well. There's a long line to ring the bell. So congrats to everybody who was able to do that. And we got one more race this year, midnight run that starts at midnight on New Year's Eve, which as of now, I plan to be there. So I'm looking forward to that. Haven't been to that in a couple of years. Unfortunately, we had to cancel sadly last year. So that'll be our last race of the year. All right, Bex, we have such a fun show today.
Yes, you were very excited for this guest. Rob was giddy.
As a lifelong baseball fan, the manager of the Boston Red Sox, Alex Cora, is going to join us. Now, I'm not a Red Sox fan, but I'm also not a Red Sox hater because I'm a New York Mets fan, and all Mets fans know that the Red Sox are kind of the enemy of our enemy. You know, the Yankees are the shared enemy of all Mets and Red Sox fans, even though I don't mind the Yankees that much. But it's such a great story for me, Bex, that a major league manager in the middle of all the work that they have to do managing a 162 game major league season plus the playoffs, because the Red Sox, as we all know, if you're baseball fans at all, made the playoffs this year, lost to the Yankees in the wild card round, but that he was able to find a way to squeeze in training for the TCS New York City Marathon through that long season, and then was able to make it to the starting line and find his way through 26.2 miles to finish. It's a great story.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to have Red Sox manager Alex Cora join us to talk about stepping out of the dugout and on to the 26.2 miles of the TCS New York City Marathon. It was very cool, Bex, to chat with him. And it's a great conversation. And there's some things I think you'll learn, including the fact that he's a big Peloton guy as well.
He is. He also is very passionate about running, which everyone will hear, and how it has infiltrated through his whole family. And really, I'm biased because I love seeing people when they talk about running light up. And most of our guests do. But I feel like sometimes even the professional athletes don't have that spark that some of our hobby runners have. And Alex definitely had a beautiful spark when it comes to talking about running. So you're all in for a treat. And even if you are a Yankees, Mets, or other baseball team fan, do not be put off, because this is about running, and he is very happy to extricate himself from the baseball side of it.
Yeah, and what's even better, Bex, it's not just a running story, it's not just a baseball story, it's a love story as well.
Ooh,
because we know that Alex's now fiance was a big part of how he came to running, and Alex talks a lot about that. So that's coming up in just a minute. Also, in today's member moment, Simone Swink, a senior executive producer of Good Morning America and a New York Roadrunners member, is going to share her 2025 TCS New York City Marathon story. Of course, GMA was a big part of the marathon this year. They had a big relay for the 50th anniversary of Good Morning America, so can't wait to hear from Simone. And finally, today's Med Minute will take on the process of failing and why it might matter even more than getting it right to runners. We all know something about that, so stay with us for today's Med Minute as well. It's just a run until it's a race, until you put everything on the line to cross the finish line. And it's just water until it's Culligan, because when it comes to running your marathon, you get out what you put in. So train with cleaner, safer, better tasting water, and go further with certified Culligan filtration. Culligan, water you love. Culligan is the official water solutions partner of the TCS New York City Marathon. Visit Culligan.com/marathon to learn more. Alex Cora is one of the most recognizable figures in American sports. He's a World Series winning manager, a daily presence in the Boston headlines, of course, as manager of the Boston Red Sox, and someone whose every decision is dissected and probably questioned by millions of New Englanders. But behind the scenes in the last few years, Alex has also become a runner, moving from short races to a half marathon and ultimately to the starting line of the 2025 TCS New York City Marathon this past November 2nd. On a day when New Yorkers cheer for just about everyone, it was hard to miss the irony, a Red Sox manager being cheered on by most New Yorkers as he ran through the 5 boroughs of the Yankees' hometown, and the Mets' hometown, by the way, and then made it to the finish line. Alex Cora, it is great to have you on Set the Pace. Congratulations on your first marathon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Actually, I was very excited about doing this. Most of the time when I have to talk about baseball and the Red Sox and all that is tough, but this is fun. It's becoming a way of life for us, for my family, and we're very excited about it.
Oh, we love that, to hear that it is not just a solo sport, but you're bringing it into your family too. Who else in your family is joining you on this?
Well, this whole journey started with Angelica, my fiance. So as you know, throughout the Red Sox Foundation, we can actually, contribute to the foundation and get numbers, bibs for the Boston Marathon. So she decided to do it, and that's how the journey started. I was a good partner throughout her preparation. She started early, like in the summer of 23. She ran the marathon in 24, but the training started like in the summer of 23. She loves sports. Her dad is one of our best pitchers in our national team here in Puerto Rico. She's been involved in sports the whole time, has never run. And kind of like we felt obligated to do it because we've been with the Red Sox since 2018 as a manager, as a family, right? And she did it, and I was there every step of the way, except Patriots Day. That she actually ran it with her brother, which was amazing. It was great, and that's how it started. And we have continued to do that. Actually, we had a 5K this past Sunday for our foundation here in Puerto Rico. My boys, Xander and Isander, they were part of it. It was their first 5K.
Yay.
We had approximately 950 runners for a good cause, and we're going to continue to do this because it's not only a way of life, but I think it has become a great hobby, quote unquote, and has get the family together.
It's awesome. I love it. So on that Patriots Day, for those who don't know, the Red Sox always play a home game on the day of the Boston Marathon. And it starts at 11 a.m., which is very unusual. And then everybody goes over to watch the Boston Marathon. Were you able to get out when the game was over to see your fiance finish, Alex, or did you miss the whole thing?
No. We drove over there. Her parents, the boys, my family, and it was one of those that, believe it or not, I've been part of 3 World Series champions, 2007 as a player, 2017 as a coach, 2018 as a manager. And when I saw Angelica and Jesus just getting close, and we were following them, and when we saw them, I kid you not, we got emotional. I got emotional.
Yeah.
Like, it was the commitment, right? Like, this is what we're gonna do, and we have to prepare for it. I remember the opening weekend, we were in Seattle, and we played Thursday, Friday, Saturday. She had a long run, and it was 17 miles. We had a game scheduled at 4. We got up at 5 in the morning, and we ran 17 miles.
Wow.
And when I was done, I was like, holy shoot, what I'm doing, like, this is crazy. Next weekend, we go to Anaheim. We ran 18, and that was it for her, Then she started deloading. But her commitment, just everything that goes into it, to see her and her brother, I got to be honest, I had tears in my eye. I was like, I got very emotional. To see the boys be excited about her in the sports world was different than being excited than me, right? They know that Dad played baseball, Dad is the manager of the Red Sox, but they were very excited about Mom, and that really got me emotional, and it was a great day for us.
Oh my gosh. I love that comparison for your kids of them having known that their dad is this hugely globally celebrated athlete in his own right, and now has become a hugely celebrated manager, and that their mom has gone on a different path to become a celebrated athlete in her own right is just, I can't imagine the inspiration that those kids can just see in the sports world from the both of you. And so cool that they ran their 5K. As a parent, I'm so excited to see my daughter run her first 5K in the future. But let's talk about your training. I mean, having seen your fiance do the hard work of training for a marathon. Anyone who's done it out there, you guys know how difficult it is. You've trained yourself for incredible feats of sport. What's harder, training to be a world-class baseball player or a marathon?
What we're doing now is harder.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't want to make excuses, but our schedule is pretty tough.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You play a week in Boston, then you go on the road, you go to St. Louis, you go to Texas, and we've been very disciplined as a group. We have a group of, well, in spring training is a bigger group. We got like 5 or 6 coaches, including big league coaches and minor leaguers. We get up at 5 in the morning. We go in Fort Myers, and you get it all. Sometimes it's 50 degrees, sometimes it's 85 degrees in Southwest Florida. But then during the season, we've been very disciplined. I got to be very honest with you. It has made me better. That, game over, you have dinner, maybe a drink here, but you know that the next day we run in 5 miles in San Luis, and you have to go to bed early. You turn the page actually of whatever happened the day before. So it's a good group. Peter Fatsi, our hitting coach, Joe Cronin, assistant hitting coach. We just go, and we made a promise, and that was the season of 24, that at least we're gonna hit 5 miles in every city. I played 13 years in the big leagues. I played in all these cities that I'm coaching now, and now I'm getting to know the cities. Now it's like the cool thing about Seattle, the cool thing about LA, the cool thing about San Luis, the pier in San Francisco. Before, as a player, you will get up at 11, grab brunch and go to the ballpark, and then probably hit a restaurant after the game and go back to the hotel. Now we're getting up at 7 in the morning. We go out. It's beautiful out there. Then we hit a spot. We have breakfast. But I'm getting to know the cities now, which is amazing. It's really fun.
It makes so much sense what you're saying. And runners know there's really no better way to see a city, to get to know a city, than to run through that city and have to find your way and run past landmarks and things like that. So that's such an interesting perspective that makes perfect sense. But Alex, I want to know, what put it in your mind in the first place that you could train for and run a marathon on the heels of a Major League Baseball season? Because I have so many questions about how you manage these things. But I want to start with, I guess, the start of it. When did you first think of this? Sounds like you were running with your fiance in 23, and that got you running. When did you first think, you know what, maybe I could do this?
So she wants to run the 6 majors, right? She wants to do that. So, Boston already, New York, of course, a month ago. And the Boston one for me is going to be very difficult unless we become I talked to our CEO, Sam Kennedy. He loves the idea, kind of like do it for charity, and get up early, take off at 6, get to the finish line around 10:30, go to the field and manage a game, right? And we can make we can help a lot of people doing that, because I think people are going to join it. And now I feel I'm prepared, I can do that, but it's going to be very difficult because we have the game. This year, so obviously, with our connections, they help us, and we help some people too. We got the bibs for Angelica, and actually Christian Vasquez's wife. He's a catcher for Minnesota, Gabby Otero. It was actually her first. Angelica got her going. So those two were ready to go. And I'm like, it's going to be hard for me to run in New York, because our expectations are to play all the way to the World Series, right? And as you know, Game 7 was actually the night before of the marathon. So, right, we're playing for the ring. So no way we're going to do this. She kept saying, just train for it, train for it. Imagine you win the World Series, you go to New York, you run the marathon. I'm like, that'll be awesome, but it's going to be hard, So we lost to the Yankees, and I made a few phone calls. And I go, hey, if there's any way you guys can get me into the marathon. And inside I was like, no way. It's too late. It's October 5th or 6th. That's when I made a call. And they were like, yeah, TCS. And they go, oh, of course. Of course. And I was like, oof, this is tough. I already had the mileage right throughout the season, but I think my long one during the season, my longest one was 10, and it was before September. We fly to Puerto Rico on a Monday. We drop off the kids on Tuesday at school. We go out for a run. It was 6 miles. It was 92 degrees here. I'm supposed to run a 10K, about 6.2, whatever it is. And I stopped because it was so hot. Cool. Saturday, I went out for 11 by the mountains. It was cooler. It was good. Saturday, I didn't feel great. At that time, Angelica didn't know I had the bib. I had the, they accepted me. Sunday, I didn't feel great. Long story short, I was dehydrated, so I had to tell her, hey, the goal was for me to run the marathon with you. Sorry, I'm not gonna do it. I feel horrible. Thank you for the effort, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I saw her face. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try to do it. Kept going, kept going, kept going. I honestly feel running here in Puerto Rico, 11 miles on a Saturday with the weather really helped me to get ready for New York. It's very challenged here. It's tough, and then that happened. When I got to the starting line, I was like, 15, right? But when I got to 15, I'm like, oh shit, you got it, kid. You good. I just kept going. But it was fun. It was I've been in some great places sports wise, like having that trophy, playing 13 years in the big leagues. But honestly, like the coolest day sports wise, quote unquote, was that Sunday because it's something that I never thought I was gonna do. Never, never in my life. Like this started to get healthy, to lose some weight, and it just became something that is okay, cool, let's keep going. But to run a marathon, no, no way, no chance. And I was able to do it.
That is so cool. And I am still completely shocked by the fact that you did that. That's 4 weeks essentially after season end. You get the bib and you just keep rolling. Okay, so we're taking that. It was the grit of the season, the grit of the Puerto Rico weather, and the motivation to be alongside your partner all the way through the race and do it with her. By the way, congratulations, because I heard you just got engaged though after the marathon, right?
Yeah, we got engaged right before Thanksgiving. We've been together for a while. Our boys are 8. We have a great relationship. It was about time a while ago, but it was about time now. I gotta be honest. She's been amazing to us. I always said that in this challenging job that is being the manager of the Red Sox, there's a lot of times that I'm not here. There's a lot of sacrifices, and having twins makes it a lot more challenging for her, and she's been amazing. So, it was a great day for us. It was very special. The boys were part of the whole gimmick. My daughter, Camila, who's 22, she's actually going to school in Miami. She's getting her master in sports administration. She was part of it. It was a fake interview, all this stuff, and then the boys and Camila, they had signs, will you marry dad, and it was a cool day for us.
That's great.
That's
so
beautiful. Cool. Okay, well, aside from you probably knowing in your mind when you cross the finish line, that might be your next incredible celebration. What was the celebration of you crossing the TCS New York City Marathon finish line? What did it feel like?
So the cool thing about it, and, the plan was for us 3 to run together, Gabby, Angelica, and myself. And at one point, they were like, just go. Like, we're okay. We're going to be fine. So they let me go. And throughout the whole thing is amazing how this works, right? Like, all these scenarios, the up and downs, and not only about 25 is throughout this journey, right? And I went back to Seattle when we ran 17 and Anaheim and, the season and it was fun. At one point, I really felt that the crowd gets you going. They carry you all the way to the finish line. Very similar, and I have to admit it, to a Sunday night game in New York when there's bases loaded and the big boy Aaron Judge is at the plate, and that place is electric. It's electric. It's loud. It's electric, and it takes you somewhere else, and Red Sox Yankees is the best rivalry in sports, regardless of where we at right now. We Dodgers in baseball the last 2 years, but when we get together, it's pretty special. And I was running, I was like, holy shit, it's loud, it's fun. This is the Bronx times 1,000, because it was just kept going and going and going. When I got to mile 22 by the park, right, that's when you start taking off, right? And you feel it, and you see it. The one thing that actually I tell people, I explain it, it goes from miles to meters, right? All of a sudden it's like 800 meters. And like, what are we doing here? And we almost there. That's 2 laps around the track, right? And just go, go, go. And when I finished the line, it wasn't like I did it. It wasn't like something like personally I felt great. I felt like we did it. We did it because she was a big part of it. There were a lot of people that actually they learned 2 days before or the day before, and they were texting me and calling me and wishing me luck. And it's a total team effort, man. People say, yeah, it's an individual sport. We know that. We know it. But it's a total team effort. To accomplish that, there's a lot of people behind you that really help you. And in this case, they were amazing to me.
Oh, that is so cool. And just what a great moment for you, for so many people in your world. I have to ask the question. You talked about the crowds. How were our crowds to you, Alex Cora? How did they treat the manager of the Boston Red Sox running through the 5 boroughs of New York City? Because the word was out that you were running. So this was not a secret. And I'm sure there were some folks out there looking for you, including a few Yankees fans. Were there any signs that you remember that were a little anti-Red Sox, or were you getting love the whole way?
No signs. People that recognized me, but it was more Red Sox fans, actually. And they acted surprised. You can see, like, I was going, and you see a jersey or you see a hat, and I'm like, let me hear the reaction. And also he's like, oh, AC, there you go, go Sox. I'm like, and I will go like that, but it was fun. It was fun. No, like, Yankee chants or Red Sox suck, whatever. I think, probably that's what I put in my mind, block the whole thing.
But Alex Becs, if this isn't proof that Marathon Sunday is the best day of the year in New York City, then nothing is, because it is the one day I can think of when Yankee fans, Mets fans, everybody unites to cheer on the manager of the Boston Red Sox. So go us.
Welcome to Queens. Welcome to Queens on the corner. I remember that sign. The one thing I tweeted right away, thank you, New York City. I have never done anything like that. But what an experience, is from the start, right? And then, after mile 3, you start feeling the whole thing, right? And there's a point in the run that everybody is closer. They're closer to you, kind of like in mile 9, 10, I want to say.
Yeah.
They're closer to you,
in Brooklyn,
and you're like, bro, like it's kind of like I play in Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, all these places, and not even close. Not even close. It was a perfect Sunday, a perfect crowd. Just amazing. It was really amazing. Angelica and Gabby, they were actually wearing their tops had the Puerto Rican flag, and she was saying that it was amazing. Like, how our people, we got a lot of Puerto Ricans in New York, and you could hear it. Boricua, Puerto Ricans, let's go, and the music was outstanding for a while there. I mean, like Colombians and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans. You got everything, and I heard about it. I watch it on TV, but to live it, never in my mind thought it was. If I have a chance to do it again later, I'll do it again because the experience is second to none.
That is what we like to hear. That is what we like to hear, especially from such a Bostonian. Okay, let's talk about running for you. I'm going to give Peloton a shout out here, because just before we came on, you told me that you have a Peloton tread and a bike, and you guys use them as part of your training, as well as obviously doing the runs outside, which everybody has to do. We never do all our training on an indoor device. And it really interests me to ask you about your running now. And now you've achieved that incredible feat of 26.2. What does running mean for you right here, right now?
Yeah, it's something that I needed to do, to be honest with you. There's no one in life that is more sincere. Like your mom will tell you, like, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this right. So it was September 20 in 2023, and after a game, and you don't know because you put the uniform on and you just go about your business. She goes, hey, Alex, you're out of shape. You're fat. I was like, what?
Thanks, Mom.
And I appreciate that. And I started looking at the pictures. And I'm like, holy shit, I better get going. In December of 23, I was getting inducted to the Puerto Rican Sports Hall of Fame. Oh, cool. So I was like, hold on. I better get in shape, better lose some weight, because those pictures are going to be there forever. Right. Well, every picture is there forever, but
that one's on the
special
wall.
Occasion. Yeah. So September 23rd and 23, I get this app, Runner. And the first one I went out in Newton, Mass, by the house. It was 1.5 miles, and it was intervals, and I felt horrible after I was done. I was like, oh my God, this is not gonna work, But whatever. It was called From the Couch to 5K. That was the whole thing. They coach you through it, and I started doing that. Boom, boom, boom. Looked better. Then I taking off, her training. I just kept going. But it actually started with my health. Like, it was an unhealthy life. What I was going through, the pressure of the Red Sox, the nutrition, not getting any sleep, not doing too many exercises. I picked it up, and then from one moment on, it was going out to a run. Next day, do the Peloton, back and forth. Sunday off, boom, 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 kept going, and now it's what we do. And I think is a good lesson, not only for us as a family, but for the people around me in that environment, that actually you got to take care of yourself, man. Like, it's very important, because sometimes we take this for granted, what we do. You go to the ballpark at noon, you get out, game is at 7, game over, you stay there for a little bit, go back, go for 162 days. And you forget the most important thing. It's you. It's your family. You got kids. You want to live as far as possible. I mean, my dad passed away when I was 56. 56. So that's something that I have in my mind, right? Like, I want to be there with my kids as long as possible. How we do that? Live a healthy life. Are we perfect? No, we're not perfect. I tell you that. Like, there's certain days that we don't get up, we don't do our thing, but it's such a demanding job that is hard. But we're very consistent, and that's how it started. And we're very happy that we kind of like adopted this lifestyle.
And the mental side, Alex, you referenced it before, being able to turn the page. I mean, you're playing 162 games. They don't all end well, right? I mean, a great team loses 60 games a year, right? And some of them you lose in heartbreaking fashion. You blow a lead in the 9th or whatever. How does the run help you stay balanced? Because you have one of the most high-pressure jobs in sports, and you're going to need to turn the page a lot in the course of even a good year.
Yeah. Probably you guys have heard that we always talk about it. It's a marathon. It's 162. It's a marathon. Well, now I know what a marathon is. I know. And You just got to be patient. You got to stay disciplined. We've been doing it through our life, you know, in baseball when I play and now that I manage. But now I really know. And I think the guys really respect what we done the last 2 years. For me, as a manager, A-Team was kind of like special. That was a special team. We won. I think at the end of the season it was 119 wins, you know, including the playoffs. You know, we were one of the best teams in the history of the game, one of the best teams the last 20 years. We had some bad seasons, 22, 23, 24. This year we made it to the playoffs. And now I'm more patient. I understand what it takes. You know, you're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have good runs, bad runs, right? You're going to feel horrible one morning and you got to push yourself to go out there. There's other days that you're going to feel great and you got to slow it down because, you know, like Ferraris, they have to go at 20 miles per hour in the school zone, right? You have to. So, you know, like you have to, whatever you have to do that day, you have to stay disciplined with it. And that's something I've done throughout. I feel better as a manager. I'm more prepared now because I have lived this journey, you know, of running. And I think I'm in a better place now than a few years ago.
Yeah. Do you feel that some of the, I don't want to say the more under-disciplined players, but younger players, perhaps fresher rookies, do you feel like they may look to you and see that discipline and that consistency and have inspiration to model themselves like you through their training?
When I walked into the clubhouse, how many today? You know, like miles, you know, and they're like, they look at it, it's like, man, that's tough to do. You know, I would love to do that. They cannot do it, of course, you know, like,
yeah,
it doesn't work for them what they're doing right now, but they respect what we do. There's certain Saturdays we play at 4:00 and I live 9 miles from Fenway. And when the family's in Puerto Rico because of school, get up, have breakfast, take off. Mm-hmm. And I get to Fenway sweating, moo, and they look at me like, running day to Fenway? I'm like, yeah, running day to Fenway. And they love it. You know, they respect it. They see it. And, you know, it's not that I was not disciplined before, but now they see it firsthand. You know, they see me sometimes running by the streets like, oh shit, there goes Alex, you know, but they really like what I do and they get excited for it.
They're going to be calling you Forrest Gump over there before we know it.
What are the hardest days to run? There must be with the travel, Alex, just days that make it nearly impossible. You'll have a day game somewhere and then, or sometimes a night game after a day game, right? So a night game and you turn around and come right back to the ballpark the next day. You got the getaway days where you're playing a night game somewhere. You got to fly late at night, get in the next day and, you know, find a way to get some sleep. How many days a week were you able to pull off getting in a run during a season like that typically?
Yeah, I think consistently 3 times a week.
Yeah,
we go out there 3 times a week. We can work with it. The hardest ones are the ones that we have scheduled, and we get into Cleveland at 3 a.m. But credit to the group, we go because we understand that it's better than just laying in bed till noon, you know. And then we get it, you know, we're out, and that first day you have to be in the ballpark early for meetings, all that. So get going, have breakfast, go, and then get some rest.
I want to hear more about this group. So who else has joined you from the Red Sox on these runs? You got other coaches doing these with you?
Yeah, we consistently, Joe Cronin, assistant hitting coach, Peter Fatsi, hitting coach. They both actually ran the half marathon in Boston. We do the 5K before the big race on Saturday. That was 5K. My first one. That was my first. New York was, well, actually, I love New York because it was a marathon. But to run the 5K in Boston, oof, that is hard. It's very hard because everybody is there. And they don't want to ask you about the 5K. They want to ask you what happened the night before.
That's right.
You know, like,
you better win. You better win the night before the BAA 5K.
We better win the night before. And I honestly think that that we have done it twice. We have lost the night before. So it's not. Yeah, but those two are cool. people act surprised when they see you. They're like, oh shoot, Alex is here, like awesome, So Pete has done it, Joe has done it. Um, we did the half in November. Great event, cool event, tough one.
I got to give a shout out to my man Jack Fleming up there, the head of the BAA, who is a massive Red Sox fan, and I know he's got to be thrilled when you show up to run one of his races. So
yeah, but that's last year we did it. Angelica did it with me and the two coaches, and in that one, I tell you right now, I finished, and it wasn't like yes, like I did it. It was like, oh shit, to run a marathon, you have to do this again. Like that was my thought. That honestly, that was my thought. And we were talking about it afterwards. It's like, holy shoot, that was a half, between the coaches. But it's something that we're enjoying, man. And the group have done an amazing job. Kudos to them, because as a hitting coach, both of them, they're hitting coaches. You got 13 hitters, right, on the roster. Not everybody's happy, like not everybody feels great. So you go home, you have to work, you got to get up early and do your thing. And for them to take the time, and it's our time. It's our time, to be honest with you, which is awesome. They've been great throughout the last few years.
It's really inspiring, and running looks good on you. It suits you, and you have a huge smile when you're talking about it, which is really brilliant to see from somebody who is already in the professional sports world in another aspect of it. So thank you for spreading the love of running into one of America's greatest sports. I say, obviously I'm not American, so I'm like, I don't know really which is the one to say is great as baseball or football, but I'm going to go with baseball.
Best,
yeah,
absolutely.
I would think baseball, but yeah, congratulations. It's really really amazing.
So I want to know what happens from here, Alex Cora. What is next? Because every runner, we know them all. They finish they cross that finish line of a marathon. And it's not 24 hours before they start thinking about what's next. So what are your thoughts now on your next possible? Are you going to try to pull off the Patriots Day double?
We have to work on that one. We have to work on that one. We have to talk to the people. I would love to do it. Not next year. I think next year, is a little bit challenging, but at one point we have to do it that way, do it for a great cause, and we go and see what happens, So I think the next thing for Angelica is Chicago next year. So we'll do that. I think the next cause is going to be home base. We're gonna be partner him with them. They're Tom Werner, who's one of our owners. He's huge with that group. So we'll. Yeah, it's about veterans. They support veterans. It's one of the biggest. I want to say, for lack of the perfect world, as far as like contributing and helping, veterans, which is awesome. We actually have this 9K in Fenway Park. I think it's in June and July. It's run to home base, and you take off from Gate D at Fenway. You go through Cambridge, and you finish at home plate inside Fenway Park.
Whoa,
that's
amazing.
Cool.
Whoa,
I've done it twice. I love that one.
That's
so
epic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You guys should take a look at that one. A lot of people help. A lot of people are there. It's a cool event, and then we play that night. So at least we have the map, right, to actually do it, run in the morning, and then go and play. It just happens that it's a 9K and it's a marathon, so we have to talk. Yeah. But I think Chicago is the next one. From me, 5K in Boston, the 9K in Fenway, and we'll see what happens in the future. But like I said, this is a way of life. This is something that we really love. I love talking to you. We can do it again whenever you want, because it takes me out of the whole like baseball part of it, and actually gives me the platform to actually share our thoughts, our ideas, our story, to be honest with you. And if we feel great now, health-wise, we can actually impact other people.
Well said.
That is perfect. Love it. Alex, congratulations on your first marathon. There's nothing like your first one. I have a feeling for you, it's not your last one, but your first one will always be with us here in New York. So on behalf of everybody at Roadrunners, congratulations. And I'm going to wish you luck for this upcoming baseball season as well. So I'm a Mets fan. It's easier for me. Good luck this year. Have a great rest of your off season and enjoy all the miles between now and opening day.
Peloton is taking running and race tech to the next level with the new Peloton cross-training series Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. Built for runners who want top-tier performance, the Tread Plus helps you train smarter and get race-ready with precision. Peloton IQ offers personalized insights that evolve as you progress, so you can fine-tune your pacing and peak at the right moment. And with strength workouts designed to build the muscle you need to support every mile, your training goes beyond the run. Plus, pace target classes designed to build consistency, boost speed, and improve your splits. Every single run supports your full training cycle, from recovery miles to challenging race pace intervals. Experience our most advanced tread yet at onepeloton.com. Peloton, the official digital fitness partner of New York Roadrunners.
Simone Swink is the senior executive producer of Good Morning America, which includes GMA's weekday and weekend broadcast, as well as all of GMA's overnight and early morning shows like GMA First Look, which airs before local news, and GMA 3. Simone has been with GMA since 2010, rising through the ranks behind the scenes of the country's most watched morning show. Outside the control room, Simone has also become an active New York Roadrunners member. This past November 2nd, Simone and a group of 27 ABC News coworkers all participated in a special ABC Good Morning America relay. And each member of that team ran just a few miles of the marathon course, passing a baton to cover all 26.2 miles, both in support of NYRR's Team for Kids charity and also in celebration of 50 years of Good Morning America. Here's Meb with Simone.
Thanks, Rob. Simone, welcome to Set the Pace podcast. How's it going today?
It's going great. It's great to be here with you.
Great to have you. As I saw, you have a very intense day job as a senior executive producer of the entire Good Morning America franchise. How do you find time to train and fit running into your schedule while working on live morning TV shows every single day?
Great question. And the truth is that a lot of weekdays I don't, unless you want to count running up and down the hallway and up and down the stairs, which does get me surprisingly close to my step count some days. But I take more of a weekend warrior mentality. I live near Central Park. And so for me, it's Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. If I can get just one of those in with the Central Park run and all the fellow New York Roadrunners I see out there, then that's a win for the weekend.
When it is, I'm in Central Park, and to be in close proximity and get a few miles in is very important. You just ran the New York City Marathon as part of the relay team with your ABC News coworkers. What was it like to be out there on the course, passing the baton and running through the city with your colleagues?
Well, Marathon Day is one of the best days in New York every single year. So to even be part of just a little bit of it was amazing. One of the best days in the 20 plus years I've lived here. I will say about a week before, I was watching one of your wonderful New York Roadrunner videos you do every year where you show the graphic going through New York City and then how the altitude's going to change. And I had been assured by the people organizing this on the GMA side that we were going to be on a very flat section of the course. And yet I looked at 116th Street and on up Fifth Avenue and it seemed to be straight up. So I went with one of my relay partners and we ran that the week before. And that's one of the hardest miles of the race from that section 116 all the way up to about 91st or 90th Street. So I had a hard time doing that as my first mile. I can only imagine if you're hitting your, I think, 23rd or 24th mile. But then to go into the park from there and meet up with Ginger Z and Brooks, that's got to be the biggest hug I've ever given Ginger. And I think it was in part out of relief, passing her the baton. Of course, that's the moment at which my relay partners decided, let's just run to the end anyway. So we went the final 1.2 miles.
Amazing. Just incredible to be able to just pass the baton and describing the course. Yeah, marathon stuff, but when you go to Fifth Avenue or so, that little hill becomes a mountain. But your relay team ran for charity supporting NYRR Team for Kids. Mm-hmm. Why was that cause so important to you and the GMA team?
Well, we use GMA a lot to keep in touch with viewers and our fellow Americans and go into communities and help people out. And honestly love that New York Roadrunners does the same for so many kids and communities all over the city who are interested in running. I did a run, I did God's Love We Deliver run the other day. And the first thing you see when you cross the finish line is all these kids getting lined up for Team for Kids, age 4, age 5, all having their first short run and participating. And it's really fun to be a part of that and share what I like about running, or in my case, jogging, with kids of all ages. I think running is the closest you can come to flying on your own, and seeing little kids get to experience that is awesome.
Well said. Flying on your own, I think, as an ambassador of Team for Kids for the New York Runners, to see the great work they do and to be able to help kids set goals and achieve what they want to achieve is pretty amazing. And thanks for being part of that journey. You have worked your way through the many roles at GMA before becoming an executive producer. Is there a moment from earlier in your career that still shapes the way you lead the team today?
Great question. I think for me, right out of college, I used to answer the phone. I used to deliver the newspaper every Sunday to this guy who just started at This Week, and his name was George Stephanopoulos. And I remember being very concerned at that time, but absolutely getting every part of that job right. And it's important when you're an assistant, every phone message needs to be right. The papers have to be on time. You got to know what's in the show. And I think that consistency and frankly, good manners continues to this day. And I have an even better working relationship with George now than I did then.
Pretty amazing. You have spent years shaping Good Morning America from behind the scenes. What part of the work still feels the most meaningful for you?
I think it's two things, honestly. I think that we're first to our viewers as people are waking up with the news every morning is incredibly important. The stories that we bring and what we can tell them to start their day, but also the chance to use our broadcasts and platforms to help people in times of great need. We've been there after the floods and storms hitting the Southeast, after the LA fires, after the Maui fires, when a lot of the food banks were emptying in the last couple months, and being able to turn and use our platform to help our viewers, help our fellow Americans, tell our viewers how they can help some of their neighbors is an incredible privilege and frankly, really cool. So,
and you've done that on the course and then off the course, just helping others be better version of themselves, Simone. So thank you for being on the podcast, and thanks for representing Team for Kids and Good Morning America.
Thank you.
Thank you, Simone, for joining us. Thanks to all your colleagues as well at ABC News for being a part of that awesome GMA relay. And Simone, thanks for being a member of New York Roadrunners. Now it's time for today's Med Minutes.
Failing is not always a fun thing, or injury is not a fun thing, but sometimes we got to find the good in it. Sometimes life gives you lemon, you got to make a lemonade. And some of my best races have come from bad races. Sometimes whether it's food poisoning or injuries, you just have to, it's not how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. As I talk with my 26 marathons, you have to be able to rise to the occasion. Even though the races, the preparation don't go your way, you have to somehow find a new goal. Just for example, I dropped out of the London 2007 marathon to save my Olympic season because the trials were in November of 2007. I was running the London Marathon in April 2007. I just felt something in my Achilles. I said, I got to save this for the Olympics. And the Olympic trials, even though I gave it time, it didn't go as planned because injuries happen. During the race, I realized I had pelvic fracture. My good friend Ryan Shea passed away. So mentally, physically, and emotionally, it was bad. 2008 trial broke me, but the build up for the 2009 built me. That means even if it means about a year and a half to get there, don't shove your goals down the drain. Just say, hey, what can I do? New goals, new adjustment. And just like that, I could not even walk. Let me give you an illustration. When I was running in San Diego, like anytime after like January of 2008 all the way to March, I couldn't go back from the street to the sidewalk. We're talking about 5 inches. So I have to wait, all the way until the end of the block to get to the ramp where the bike can get in to get to do that. Nobody told me there was guarantee you're going to win the New York City Marathon. I was just doing the small thing that can help me. Yes, that means physical therapy. Yes, that means cross training. Yes, that means be patient. And, yes, I'm not racing the way I want to race, like doing London Marathon or other races. Everybody's getting ready for those races. But you got to believe in yourself. You got to do what you can, manage what you can control. And yes, there's disappointments, but you have to refocus and refuel, and not, I know sometimes it can be a slumber, go back to your retreats, like eating candy or eating sweets and things like that. But that's when you need it most to be able to say, hey, I got to be on the right path. Because when everything's going well, we are good to be able to be motivated to get that run. But when things are not going well, that's when you realize, okay, why can't I do the small things like cross training, diet, sleep, and nutrition to help you be the best version? And there's no guarantees, but what you can do is control yourself. And for me to have that disappointment where I was a favorite to win in 2007 in New York, the trials, and I made a new goal before I left New York, say, you know what, I can't go to the Olympics, but my Olympics will be New York City Marathon. I really thought it was going to be 2008, but the injury was so severe, it took me into 2009. And to wear that USA jersey, come in Central Park, beating the silver medalist from 2008, beating the 4-time Boston Marathon champion. So dreams do become reality. Just sometimes they take a little bit longer. So be patient, and sometimes failing is okay. You just got to build up back of yourself, and great things will be waiting for you. So don't give up hope. Just do the right thing and small things, and the reward is that much more sweeter.
All right, that does it for a super fun episode of Set the Pace. Great guest today. Of course, Red Sox manager Alex Cora and senior executive producer of Good Morning America, Simone Swink. And Becs, that was a fun one. It just reminds me again how running can impact people from all walks of life. And listening to Alex talk about how it really has changed his life as a manager just reminds me of what an amazing thing running really is.
Yeah. It does. And 2 people who are part of larger teams that have benefited from running in their worlds, which is also beautiful. So yeah, celebration of a sport as what did Alex say? It's a team sport, but it's a solo sport, but it's a team effort.
Yes.
And I love that, and it really rings true for both of our guests today.
Yeah, really cool. If you like the episode, make sure you leave us a rating, leave a comment for us wherever you listen so others can find us as well. We got a couple more shows left this year, so we're coming down the home stretch. Everybody out there who's enjoying the holidays, happy Hanukkah. To everybody out there who's celebrating as we speak. We will see you next week. Enjoy the miles.